feels like rendezvous. You know what to do. Keep your love for me only. I get high on you.
Alright. I want to thank Gabriella for giving me the opportunity to take over her channel. This is going to be Henrick's Movie Corner. Bam! So, a little brief history on why I enjoy movies so much. My dad, when I was younger, he used to work 7 days a week, and we would only be able to hang out and go to the movies on Sunday, which he would fall asleep in, but it was like the best family time that him and I had. So movies are a very special place in my heart. I feel at home in the movie theater, and it's a lot of fun for me to go there, and it's something I love to do. And Gabriella absolutely hates going to the movies, so I enjoy going alone. It's fun. It's just a relaxing time for me. I love to disappear to a world or into somewhere mystical or something. Not even mystical, but just be enthralled in a story for a few hours. It's a lot of fun for me. And movie popcorn is the best type of popcorn. It's not really, you can't buy that. It's just really good. So that's the fatty fact of the day. Popcorn at the movie theater, best type of popcorn. So with that, I love everything involving movies. This weekend is the Oscars. My second Super Bowl. I take this very seriously. I don't want anybody in this house. I want just me, Gabriella, and I. That's it. And I said me twice because it's me, and it's me again, and then it's Gabriella, because it's very important for me. So I just want to start off, before I do that, some of my favorite movies of the year. Doesn't necessarily have to be the ones that were nominated for Best Picture. I usually don't follow that because there's a lot of artsy-fartsy bullshit. I'm not a huge fan of all that. I like entertaining stories regardless of if they're a superhero movie or a horror movie, or, you know, it doesn't need to be a constant cry fest or something like that. But those tend to be a lot of my favorite ones. So actually only one of the Best Picture nominees is on my list of 2017, which is 8 movies, which I would start with. I'm going to start with the beginning of the year. I loved Split. That was a great movie. Gabriella and I watched it the other day. Well, spoilers, apologize. The cousin to it, the sequel, the prequel, Unbreakable. Split is a really great movie, good thriller, a lot of fun to watch. Definitely check that out. The next one following that was Get Out. Get Out was a really amazing movie. It made a lot of sense. It was something perfect for the time about the race relations in the country, but I just think it was really great. It was a lot of fun. It was funny because, you know, I have a lot of black friends, and I see that all the time, you know, especially with me and being Spanish. Like, oh, you're Spanish? Do you wear a poncho on the daily? No, fuckface. I wear a suit and tie to work because I'm a balling ass motherfucker. So no, I don't wear a poncho and eat tacos constantly. I'm not that type of Spanish. Do I eat rice and beans? Fuck yes, I do. I love that shit to the day I die. And loud salsa music, believe that shit all day, every day when I get a chance. So, you know, but it was really good. It was a lot of fun. I thought it was great, the twists and turns, a lot of stuff I didn't see coming. I thought Get Out was amazing. I'm very, very happy to see that get nominated in the Oscars as the Best Picture. So actually, I have 2, on my list, and it was amazing. So that was a lot of fun for me. Number 3, Logan. Man, I love the way that Hugh Jackman has changed the Wolverine character. Wolverine's a tiny guy. Hugh Jackman's like 6'2", and he has made that his own. It was a really heartbreaking performance, even in a superhero movie, which I cannot believe that superhero movies have become more and more heartfelt and more real. And it's not a superhero movie. They're just movies with a great story that we have a lot of lore on. Comic book wise, just because there is a lot of history there, and it's mystical, but it is heartfelt and grounded, and makes you feel real regardless. Like Black Panther that came out this year, that was the match I saw recently. That amazing superhero movie, but there's a lot of similarities to what's going on today, and the importance of it, and how it just feels like a real story, and it doesn't matter that there's a guy in a cat suit, which I can't fit in, jumping around and fighting crime, but it doesn't matter. That's a lot of fun, and the story, as long as you kind of push aside like the supernatural and you accept that this happens, you know, you open your mind to an unbelievable amount of heart and laughter, and a lot of interesting stuff inside the film, which I think is a great. And I think more people should try and get to those type of movies and really see that some of those superhero movies, sadly not the DC movies, they fucking up. Because I love Batman. But they have a lot of heart in them, and I think it's really great. Next movie for me on my 2017 list, Baby Driver. I'm a sucker for a good soundtrack. 90% of my music on my phone is from a trailer that I've seen, or a trailer for a video game, or a trailer for a movie. It's a lot of that. So a movie that is cut to music like that was unbelievable to me. I thought that was a great movie. Dunkirk. Christopher Nolan's one of my favorite directors out working right now. He just has a lot of stuff going on. He just, I'm rewatching Interstellar, and of course he has the Dark Knight trilogy, which did Dark Knight, one of the greatest comic book movies ever created, let alone maybe one of the greatest movies ever made. It's a lot of fun. Dunkirk, it's a slow burn. It took me on my second rewatch to really appreciate it, the way he did it. I'm not a big fan of putting movies out of order unless it has a really important reason that it has to be put. You have to learn something before, then you go back into the story. I'm not a big fan of the cutting back and forth, but once you get past that type of situation, the type of style of filmmaking, it does become a really, really great movie, and I liked it a lot. I just watched this the other day, and Thor Ragnarok was such a great, fun time for me. I just sat my ass, I was there laughing my ass off nonstop. It was just a great movie. It's a good time. It just made me, giggle, and I thought it was a lot of fun. And then it just still, again, had heart in the middle of it. Again, like most movies, I have a connection because of my father. And so when I see a guy trying to live up to being the king or something like that, it really resonates with me, because I think my dad is my superhero. So I always want to try and impress, and be like him, and being as amazing I think he is. So those kind of stories always hit me right in the feels, right in the heart. Not the sugar, the heart attack that might be happening, but it does hit me there strong. I loved Wonder Woman. Again, a lot of superhero movies, but those are just entertaining for me. I do like some of the other movies that just didn't hit as hard with me this year, which I was surprised. Last year there was a movie called oh my god, what was the name? Oh Lord, Manchester by the Sea. That movie was a gut wrencher. That really, like, one of those artsy films that just punch you in the fucking gut, and it was not a fun time. You don't leave that movie theater like, oh, let's go have coffee. No, you want to go home and hug your pillow, and that's a gut wrencher movie. That's a good one. But Wonder Woman was just a really good. It felt right. The story was right. Gal Gadot acted it amazing. She made this role her own. And even though a lot of people give her trash that she's not a good actress, or this is proof that she can be an amazing actress and kind of anchor a film all on her own, with the proud, being a powerful woman and making it work. And I think that was a really fun movie. The action was great. I'm a sucker for a good action movie, so that was great. Another one of my favorites, and I will tell you guys, you got to watch it out, Wind River. An amazing movie. Not a lot of people heard about it. It's, again, a slower movie, but this guy, his name is Taylor Sheridan. He directed it. He also wrote Sicario and Hell or High Water. Those two movies, and it's a really, really good movie. It's not a feel-good, happy-go-lucky movie. No, it's a good story. It's a good drama, and I really like that movie. I was surprised how good it was. So, just none of the major ones. I don't do all the major shorts. Congratulations if you win, but I didn't watch your fucking shit. So some of my honorable mentions, just some other categories that I don't normally follow. I only follow the big six, but Coco is definitely going to win Best Animated. So these are the picks, Henrick's picks. I wish we would put a graphic. Fatty's picks of the week. Not about cake, but about movies. So Coco is going to definitely win Best Animated Picture. If it doesn't, you're racist. Icarus is going to win Best Documentary. I love how Netflix is coming into the game of the movies. It's not just a big studio thing anymore. Netflix as a platform, a streaming platform, coming in with a lot of strong, actually got nominated for several Oscars this year, which is a big deal because there's a lot of younger voters coming into the Academy this year. So that was crazy interesting. I thought you guys thought it was going to be funny. I need to take this very seriously. So let's start with the Oscar picks. One of the outside of the big ones, best original screenplay. I believe this is the one and only Oscar Get Out is going to receive. I do not believe. Well, I'll get into it, but I think this is an amazing story. It is a really good, racially and tonally and culturally important at this moment in time. I think it came out perfectly at the right time, and I think it was a great movie. It was a lot of fun. It kept, again, like the twists and turns were amazing. And Jordan Peele, coming from a heavy comedy background, working on Mad TV and the Key and Peele show, Quattro and the College Name Bowl, and this guy comes out with this amazing good horror movie, but also a thriller. I thought that was amazing. It was a really interesting and an exciting thing to see that a fresh comedic face comes with such an intelligent thriller drama. I thought that was a lot of good. So best original screenplay is definitely going to be Get Out. 100% on that one. I think that's the only work that I was going to get. But, it's great to be nominated because they usually don't nominate, especially if a movie comes out all the way in February, which Get Out did. They usually do not nominate those kind of pictures this late in the game, almost a year, definitely a year later, it's March 1st. So it's a pretty amazing feat, and that's just on the cultural impact that Get Out had. So, Best Director, this is a toss-up for me. I either think it's going to be Guillermo del Toro. Do I not speak fucking Spanish? Guillermo del Toro for The Shape of Water, or I believe it's going to be Christopher Nolan's year to get it for Dunkirk. But I do have to pick one because I always narrowed it down to two and then move forward from there and make my final decision. So I'm going to say it's Guillermo del Toro this year. I wish it was Christopher Nolan. I just do not think it's for this movie. Guillermo del Toro, what he did in The Shape of Water, and it's such a beautiful movie. It's a stranger, quirkier type of movie about a woman falling in love with a fish. You should pay extra for that on the internet, but they made you pay for that regular price in the theater. So I think that was pretty. It was a good film. It was a surprising film that it had such resonance, and even though it is a woman falling in love with a fish, a man-fish at that, it was really, really good. It really worked for me, and I thought it was just an amazing story. And it's sad to say for Christopher Nolan, I just don't think this is the movie. I think whatever he comes out with next, I think that might be the Oscar movie, depending on what it is. I think he should have got it for Inception, but that's not how things work sometimes. So, Best Supporting Actress, I narrowed it down between Allison Janney and Mary J. Blige. And I apologize for Best Directors, the nominees were Guillermo del Toro, Jordan Peele for Get Out, Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird, which Lady Bird's an okay movie. I just don't think it's Oscar caliber movie. I don't think it's considered to be one of the best movies of the year. It's definitely a good movie. It's definitely a nice uplifting movie, but not one that I believe should have gotten such grand praise. I think nice to have a woman director in there. I would have definitely gone with Wonder Woman. It was a much more culturally relevant film, a much more important film for, strong female characters. Lady Bird is a teenager who's trying to figure out how to be a teenager, which is great, but, to give little girls in, Amazonian outfits a more culturally substantial character, I would have liked to see Patty Jenkins in there instead of Greta Gerwig. And then we have Paul Thomas Anderson for Phantom Thread, Daniel Day-Lewis, Paul Thomas Anderson. It's going to happen every time, even though it's his last movie, so it's not going to happen again. So Best Supporting Actress is actually Leslie Manville for The Phantom Thread, Allison Janney for I, Tonya, Laurie Metcalf for Lady Bird, Mary J. Blige for Mudbound, and then Octavia Spencer for The Shape of Water. Let's give a shout out to Octavia Spencer. You played the hooker in Bad Santa who did freaky shit to Willie, and you've been nominated 3 times and you've won an Oscar. So shout out to Octavia Spencer making a full 180, because you used to be a hooker in movies and be the silly butt of the joke, but now you're a respected actress, and I all the shout out in the world to you because that's amazing. I will narrow it down between Mary J. Blige and Allison Janney. I do believe Mary J. Blige gave the best performance behind Allison Janney, but I like the recognition of Netflix getting a nomination in there. Really, really great to see them kind of like joining the new guard and showing that even though it's on a streaming platform and so on and so forth, it doesn't have to be. It's a movie. It's a major film with major actors, and it should be awarded and respected if it's a good movie. I think good movies, regardless, should be recognized. It doesn't matter where they play. If it's a YouTube movie and it's that great and it gets 10 million views, get on it. It should be a movie. But feature length, I don't want no fucking 20-minute bullshit. So I do think it's going to be Allison Janney for Tonya. She played the shitty mother. That was fucking great. She was a real jackass. I love it. Probably going to be, not that she was a shitty mother, but she was just hard on her daughter, and she had a lot of comedic gold there. So definitely Allison Janney in that one. Best Supporting Actor, the nominations are Sam Rockwell for 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Woody Harrelson, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Christopher Plummer for All the Money in the World. Willem Dafoe in The Florida Project, and Richard Jenkins for The Shape of Water. Shout out to Christopher Plummer from coming in and taking over Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey was supposed to be in All the Money in the World. And he, of course, the allegations against him about, molesting young kids, fucking creep, he should get shot in the face. But Christopher Plummer coming in and doing this movie in I think 20 days or something like that, a whole character arc and everyone coming back. So I do have to give a big shout out to him, because that is a quite impressive feat to come and do a movie and then still have it be such an amazing role that you get nominated for an Oscar. And I thought it was a very great role. He did steal a lot of the scenes, which is kind of, testament of being an older actor, British classically trained actor, that you just come, 20 days? Sure, why not? I don't need to rehearse. I'm a bad motherfucker. So that's my boy, Christopher Plummer. But this is Sam Rockwell's year. He's come a long way from Dancing in Charlie's Angel, the first movie. I'm really excited to him. He does a lot of great work in the indie world, and I'm really, really excited that he comes and he's going to get this nomination this year. And I believe he's going to get the wins for first award of the night is the Best Supporting Actor award. So I'm super interested to see how that kicks off my picks. So I'm excited for Sam Rockwell. He's definitely going to get it he played a great role in 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. He killed that role as a dumb, racist hit cop who doesn't want to help. And it was an enthralling role for me to watch constantly. So I liked it a lot. I'm very excited to see how he does. Best Actress, you have Sally Hawkins for The Shape of Water, Meryl Streep for The Post, of course, 21 Oscar nominations. Go Meryl. Frances McDermott, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Margot Robbie, Tonya, and then Saoirse Ronan for Lady Bird. Meryl Streep, like I said, 21 nominations. Good job. Stop getting them. You're too goddamn good. Go away sometimes. Let the other people live. Margot Robbie is my second place. Tonya is a great role for her. She really, when she burst into the scene in Wolf of Wall Street, she killed that role, and then she's just been killing it ever since and been doing great work nonstop. So that's a lot of fun. That was a good movie. A good comedic, which is a kind of surprising. It's a drama movie, but with a lot of comedy undertones, which is interesting to see. The Oscars don't really do that much. They stick to the more serious films, and I'm really excited that this is kind of the new guard that's coming in and showing that you can have great roles and great comedic performances and still have a lot of fun and make it a serious movie. But my winner is going to be Frances McDermott, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. She's just been Frances McDermott from Fargo fame and doing a lot of different movies with the Coen brothers. She's just unstoppable. This movie is just a tour de force for her. She just kicks ass in this movie. She, makes a lot of, has a very heartbreaking performance as a mother who's lost her daughter, and she wants answers. I would do the same thing, probably with more, beating the shit out of people, but another great movie, another great performance. So congratulations to Frances McDermott. So Best Actor is Daniel Day-Lewis for Phantom Thread, Timothée Chalamet for Call Me By Your Name, Daniel Kaluuya for Get Out, and Denzel Washington for Roman J. Israel Esquire, and then Gary Oldman for The Darkest Hour. This is not a race. This is I'm handed to him now. Gary Oldman's going to win this for playing Winston Churchill in The Darkest Hour. It was an amazing performance by him. And this is kind of a all-around award for him, for all of the great roles that he's done in the past and only getting nominated once before. And now this is his second nomination. And I know you guys don't know, he's the Uncle Sirius Black in the Harry Potter series. And he played Jim Gordon in the Dark Knight series. And he's had a lot of these crazy roles, but he's been amazing. One of my favorite roles from him is when he played a villain in The Professional, when he played a pseudo Jamaican black guy in True Romance. Google that, you will laugh your ass off. It's so funny. So Gary Oldman is definitely going to win. I'd like to shout out to Daniel Kaluuya for Get Out. He gave a great performance. I don't believe Oscar-worthy performance, but it's definitely a good performance. Denzel Washington, it was a good job in this movie. It's definitely not an Oscar-worthy nomination. This is because James Franco recently came out of all these allegations of sexual assault, and for the disaster artist, he would have taken that spot, and then it would have been a little bit more of a race. Denzel Washington did great. I don't think he should be in here. I think you could have put Hugh Jackman and Logan. You could have put Jeremy Renner from The Wind River. I think they gave much more compelling performances that you felt a little bit more. Roman J. Esquire was just a man running around trying to figure out he lost his job and he's trying to get a new job and he doesn't want to take money from a big company, and it was kind of a subpar role for me. Again, it was a good performance by Denzel. It just kind of seemed it was just scraping at the surface. Didn't really get down too deep after him crying because he lost his job. But Gary Oldman definitely gonna win. I'm excited. He really deserves. He's one of my favorite actors. So I'm really happy for Gary Oldman. That's gonna be and that's a lock there. So Best Picture is the one I'm having the hardest time with. So it's The Shape of Water, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Phantom Thread, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Get Out, The Post, Call Me by Your Name, and Lady Bird. I feel it's like one of the weakest years in Oscar movie Best Picture nominations in a while. A lot of these movies didn't really speak to me that well. A lot of these movies were kind of just, okay. It was, a lot of legacy performances like Phantom Thread with Daniel Day-Lewis. The Post was just, it was a good movie, but again, we've heard this story before. Yes, it has a lot of undertones of what's happening today with Trump and the media, but we've heard about Watergate, we've heard about the Pentagon Papers. It's kind of all rehashing. You have Meryl Streep, Steven Spielberg, and Tom Hanks all in major roles. And sorry about that, the camera got overheated because I don't shut the fuck up. So again, a lot of these movies didn't resonate with me. Again, they were just kind of not subpar movies, but just a lot of legacy roles, a lot of the same people doing the same things. I like seeing Get Out get in there. I like The Shape of Water, just different types of movies. So my picks, I narrowed it down to 2. It's going to be 3 Billboards or The Shape of Water. And this is going to be it shouldn't because it's the biggest award, but this is going to be my heart pick. Everything else is more technical, more written down, more of a guess, not a guess, but a more of a standard pick, following who's won so far, who hasn't. But I'm going to go The Shape of Water for the Best Picture of the year, just because it's something different. It's not the same thing year over year. You don't really see anything like this. And it's, again, boiled down to it, it's a story about love between someone who's not normal. Again, with somebody, because Sally Hawkins is deaf in the movie, and he's a fish, and and it's weird. It's uncomfortable. Fish and people, mer people. We want them running around? Not really. Well, flippering around? Not sure. But it's a great story. I liked it a lot. It was definitely interesting. Guillermo del Toro always does something weird and quirky, and I think it's probably out of these 9 movies the best picture of the year. Again, Get Out, a good movie, a great movie for the time, but not an Oscar caliber movie. Not the best picture of the year. It's only like 4th on my list. Lady Bird, again, standard film. I don't think it was Dunkirk is amazing, but I just think, again, it's not this picture it's a great movie, but not the one that's gonna push Christopher Nolan's career to the extra stratosphere that it's at almost at the highest as it could be, and he could become legend with one more movie. The Darkest Hour is great. The movie as a whole is okay. Gary Oldman's performance lifts that movie beyond what it should be. Call Me by Your Name is a really good movie. It's an important movie for showing love as just being a love story. It doesn't have to be always what it might be, a man and a woman and so on and so forth. I think it's just it's a story about two people falling in love, and it's good. Again, Oscar caliber. Just because they're two men, I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's worth winning the Best Picture. Unlike Moonlight last year, which had much more depth to it because of the background he was in, and it wasn't just, it was about the struggle of being a gay black man in Miami. So that was much more of a understandable reason to win, and that's why it's more of a powerful of a story compared to just a young kid falling in love. And summer loving is, everyone's had a summer love once in a while. I don't see it as something to be over the moon for. 3 Billboards is a great movie. It's going to get a lot of wins, especially in actress and supporting actor. Definitely some set design kind of things. But again, I would want that to win, but that's very paint by numbers. It's very Oscar movie. But I just want to go with Shape of Water. It's going to be the one I might get wrong, probably get wrong. Most of them are going to be right. You can test me on that, but it's going to be right. The Shape of Water is going to be my Best Picture of the year. I appreciate you guys listening. I appreciate you guys letting me be a little bit more, I'm not my usual jokey self with this. I take this super fucking seriously, as you haven't noticed. I'm wearing a button down for you guys. I take this shit legit as fuck. So these are my Oscar picks. Best Picture, Shape of Water. Best Actor, Gary Oldman. Best Supporting Actor, Sam Rockwell. Best Supporting Actress, Allison Janney. Best Director, Guillermo del Toro. Best Original Screenplay, Get Out. Best Animated, Coco. Best Documentary, Icarus from Netflix. Those are my picks. Get with it. I'm right 95% of the time. So you guys let me know if you enjoyed this. I like hijacking her channel. Maybe I should get my own channel. I keep teasing you guys, but maybe I should just shut up and do it. I like talking about movies. I love movies. I love everything. Talk about anything I want to talk about. So thank you for the time. Enjoy the Oscars. Wear a dress. I'm going to eat my hot dogs and chips like it's the motherfucking Super Bowl, because it is to me. Thank you. Peace and love. Oh, like and subscribe to Gabriella's channel, because she's the best and she deserves to be like uber famous. So then I can piggyback off her success and then probably get to Hollywood one day. Peace!